What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, no hippie trucking and transportation. I'm coming at you from the Loves in Mims, Florida. I-95 exit 223. Now I have delivery tomorrow morning at 0300 at the Walmart in Cocoa, Florida. So you guys that are familiar with the area, you know there's the Walmart in Cocoa, Florida. Then you have the Flying J that's about a mile away. This right here is about 22 miles away, but I'll be here for almost 16, 17 hours, and I don't have to worry about anybody hitting my truck or anything like that. Easy parking up here at this Love's for you and everybody else. Plus, there is a Dollar General across the street, although I don't think there's any need for me to hit that up. But I want to talk about a video that was put out by trucker Richie Rich. It was called Truckers Beware, and it was a PSA, and it was talking about some of the dangers of parking in certain areas and stuff like that. I thought it was a great video, and as a matter of fact, check out his channel. Does a lot of stuff like me, just gets in front of the camera and starts talking, so that works out well for me because I'm listening to all this stuff while I'm driving. So a lot of the times when people have videos while they're showing a bunch of stuff, it doesn't really do much for me. But one thing he spoke about in this video was some of the issues with parking at mom and pop truck stops. Now I kind of feel the same way, and when I put out my videos kind of talking about mom and pop truck stops, I'm hoping that people have a little bit of common sense and they just don't say, okay, let me just park at any of these places. Because there is a lot of, there's a downfall to parking in some of these places. So I want to talk about all these different truck stops. So obviously you have the Loves, Flying J, Pilot, Petro, TA, and then you would have like Sat Brothers, and then Road Ranger. So those are kind of like your, depending on the area country, your kind of main name brand truck stops. When I'm talking about some of the off-brand places that I'm stopping at, I like to call them my tier one. Well, I don't like to call them that. I just made that up. But they're my tier one off-brands. And these are the places that I really like stopping at. So those would be like a Quick Star, Quick Trip, Come and Go, Sheets, Rudders, things along those lines. And then you might have like Workman Travel Plaza that would be included into that. So these are corporate truck stops, but they have they're not the huge places like you would find a lot of drivers at. These are my favorite places to stop. Then you have some of the one-off places that they're not really mom and pop, they're kind of corporate, but there may only be one of them. So think like, I think it's called Big Hat in either Wyoming or Montana, or anyway, there's just a number of these really, really nice truck stops that are just like one-offs. Then you go down to like the tier 2 truck stops, and these are gonna be truck stops that maybe they are mom and pop truck stops, but you could tell by the look of them that they're not anything that you really need to be too worried about as far as parking there. Then you just have the straight up, like, and I've stopped at a couple of these, but like the low level mom and pop, like they kind of typically look run down, things like that. And these are those, I mean, you can get your fuel stole anywhere, but some of these places are gonna be where you're most likely to get your fuel stolen, or maybe even need to worry about your personal safety. I remember stopping at one. It was in Oklahoma, and I'd parked at this place. It was a Shell, and it looked like a bunch of like local trucks there. I was like the only truck that was parked there that was like looked like it was running, and I was like, man, if somebody like I could just see one of these local guys coming here to check on his truck and get me for some fuel. Now, one thing that you're going to want to do when you're stopping at a lot of these lower level truck stops is you're going to want to do your research. So he was speaking about a scam, because it's basically a scam where people will park and then it'll be like paid parking, and somebody will tow them or you know, say they're going to tow them and charge them a bunch of money. Now, I know of a couple places like this. There's a Marathon. I don't remember what state it's in. I think it might be in Alabama, or maybe it's even in Georgia, but they're notorious for it. So, you know, do your due diligence. Look it up on Trucker Path. You know, read the reviews. If I'm going to one of these like really low-end mom and pop truck stops, if it has less than like a 1.5 stars, unless it's, you know, I'm saying like maybe 2 stars, unless I like absolutely need to hit this place for some reason, I won't stop there. But a lot of the people that you see getting towed are just, some of these people are just trying to get over. So they're saying they didn't see a sign or, you know, whatever. And I'm saying, you know what? They probably saw the sign and thought they could get away with it. And one thing that I won't do is, if there's a sign at a mom and pop truck stop, there's one in Louisiana that it's a nice truck stop, but you definitely got to pay to park there. Those are not the places you take your chances at, because they will tow you potentially, or you have a higher chance of getting towed or having one of these little scams pulled on you. You know, you could get away with it maybe at a Pilot or, you know, Flying J, Petro TA, where, you know, you might pull into a reserved parking spot. You know, the worst that might happen is they might kick you out of the spot or something like that. Some of these smaller places will put a block in front of your truck, like them big old like cement blocks in front of your truck to block you in until you pay, or they'll get somebody out there to tow you. Now, just because you go to a name brand place doesn't mean there's no chance of being 100% safe or have some cargo stolen or whatever. I mean, places I could think of off the top of my head: Charlotte, there, I think it's Charlotte. There's a Pilot over there. That was the one place I pulled into, and I just went in to get some fuel. I was in training, and it looked like just people were like hanging out. Like it was like they were hanging out like after the club or something. And somebody was asking me all these random questions on my way in, and I actually stopped and got a couple cans of Coke, put them in a paper bag so I could swing that shit around and do some damage in case somebody tried to get me, because I really thought that was, they were trying to set me up. Another place definitely wouldn't want to stop is the Pilot in Birmingham, Alabama. That place almost backs up into a neighborhood. There's a little bit of like, I think it might be fields or forest. It's a perfect place for somebody to steal out of a trailer. But it seems like a lot of these places that you don't want to stop at are gonna be in the South. And I'm saying like Louisiana, Georgia, Alabama. I haven't really seen this in Mississippi. Florida, definitely I would not stop at any random place in Florida. Just think maybe North Carolina and down. I really don't see a lot of this stuff up in the Northeast, but then again, I don't get too courageous in the Northeast. I just try to find what I can find up there. Definitely don't have to worry about it in the West, but use your common sense when you're out here, because none of these places that are pulling scams don't have something listed about this stuff on Trucker Path. And you can just tell by the way some of these places look when you pull into them. It's like, you know what, maybe I should just keep going, you know, whatever. But I am definitely all about that. Oh man, there's a place in another one of those like tier 1 truck stops. They're in A lot of them are on I-29 in Kansas City and Iowa. I forget the name of them, but they got the blue sign with like a little oval. Those are nice places to stop at too. But you know, basically do your due diligence. And women out there, I mean, men too, some of these places, you know, you don't want to be like one truck out there. Probably the most sleepless night I ever had was in South Carolina. It wasn't at a truck stop. It was at a, damn, what's the name of those restaurants? Like Huddle House. It was at a Huddle House, and I delivered it in the middle of the night at a Walmart out there. And the truck stops right around the area were full, so I drove a little bit further away. There was a Huddle House. Maybe had about 4 spots there. I was like the only person parked there. It was right next to a neighborhood. There was the Huddle House, then a liquor store and a gas station. And all night long, people were coming past my truck, going to this liquor store, and I was like, man, I do not feel good about this. So one thing I will do is, if I'm sitting at a place and I got time and I just don't get a good vibe about the place, I will just go ahead and move on out. And it's always the South. I don't know what it is about the South. You always got to think about shit. You know, one thing you got to do is you got to come with a stack of ones, because, you know, people be coming up and, you know, people be coming up and asking for some money and shit. So I always got, you know, you always got to have a little bit of money on you, because I don't want somebody to be pissed off I don't give them, you know, $1 and they go slice my tires up or pull my pin or do something ridiculous. So you got to come down to the South like you're going to a strip club. Not that I've been to a strip club in fucking 35 years or something. But anyway, yeah, I thought that was a good video. Go check it out. Trucker Richie Rich. And it's called Truckers Beware PSA. Anyway, that is about it. I'm out here and it is about 7:30 in the morning. I delivered 03, so figure I will leave out of here at like 1:55. Yeah, I'll get there about 2:50 or 2:20, somewhere in that neighborhood. Maybe I'll leave a little bit early, but definitely check this place out. Don't just, I mean, that Flying J is a nice location in terms of proximity to that Walmart DC, but you know, you do know it gets a little hectic down there, and the backing isn't difficult, but it can be challenging for shit if you're tired or if you're new, and it's almost like a little bit too much traffic out there. So this is a nice little laid back area. Check it out next time you're down here. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.